On the 60th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act, civil rights advocates are warning that the promise of the landmark law is once again under threat. Efforts from the Trump administration and some Republican-led states are shifting voting protections that have long safeguarded access to the ballot. While Republicans claim their actions are aimed at preventing voter fraud, advocates argue these measures undermine democracy. Marc Morial of the National Urban League called the moment a crisis, stressing that voting rights are being challenged just as they were decades ago. Scholars, lawmakers, and legal experts are commemorating the anniversary by pushing for new federal legislation, including a bill named after the late civil rights hero John Lewis. Janae Nelson of the NAACP Legal Defense Fund emphasized the law's broad impact, not only on Black voters in the South but on voters across the country. The Voting Rights Act transformed American democracy, helping to elect Black leaders to powerful offices and increasing voter turnout in historically marginalized communities. Courtland Cox, a veteran of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, said that while civil rights gave people access, voting rights gave them real political power. The historic election of Black leaders like Vice President Kamala Harris and Representative Hakeem Jeffries reflects the law's legacy, but advocates say more work remains. Recent years have seen backlash. The Supreme Court's Shelby v. Holder decision gutted a core provision of the act, and states quickly moved to implement new restrictions. Civil rights leaders say this response is tied to the rise of Black political influence, especially after the election of Barack Obama. Fatima Goss Graves of the National Women's Law Center warned of growing complacency in the face of chaos. She pointed to the SAVE Act, backed by Republicans, as a direct threat to voting rights. Though non-citizens are already barred from federal elections, the proposed law would require additional proof of citizenship. Democrats like Senator Cory Booker and Representative Nikema Williams are pushing back, calling these efforts a direct attack on democracy and the legacy of leaders like John Lewis. They continue to introduce legislation, despite uphill battles in a divided Congress. The message from advocates is clear: voting alone is not enough. Organizing, awareness, and resistance are essential to protecting and expanding the rights secured 60 years ago.